Welcome everybody to Abu Dhabi. The Elite Series is back for its final round, I'm sad to say. But it looks like we're going to have a great race for you today. Should be clear skies as it doesn't rain much around in these parts. And as you can see, we've just started qualifying. No one is out on the track yet. Let's get all the things that we like to look at up on the screen. There we go, perfect. The full track map. You can see the Abu Dhabi circuit layout. And already we have one car out. Looks like it may be Geordie straight out, the Haas driver. Out to get a lap here today. So the final round, this will be the last race before the release of F1 2020 in a couple of days' time. I hope everyone is excited to play the new game. I'm hearing good things from playtesters and beta testers who've had a go at the game. So I'm also very excited to get my hands on a copy of F1 2020. And that new career mode where you can create your own team looks especially exciting. It should be pretty fun. And they've made some game changes to the physics. They've consulted a lot more drivers. I've heard that was done during the break with so many of the drivers doing the Esports series, and they've changed a little bit of the physics, so a little bit more drivable, maybe more realistic. I'm not sure. I'll reserve my judgment until I have a go, as we see Geordie just take out every one of those pylons on the apex there, really cutting those corners on his outlap. Now let's talk strategy here for the UAE. Now you can go many different ways, and often a safety car throws your strategy straight out the window, but if you're good at managing your tyres Jensen Button style, you can do a soft medium, just a one stopper. You can't go flat out if you do that strategy though, otherwise you will rip through your tyres and probably get a puncture. But it's generally safe to say that you can do the one stopper and it's a bit quicker than the two stopper, even though you're saving some tyres at some point during the race. So I expect to see a lot of these drivers do the soft medium. And if they don't, if they want to push the entire race, it's generally a soft medium, or you can go soft hard. There are a few different options. The last time I raced here, Jeff offered me soft medium, which I thought was a little bit of an insult, but we pushed on. Did the soft medium, managed to get it out. We had a safety car which helped me save my tyres a little bit, so we're still on board here with Geordie, who's on his flying lap. We'll see what time he's able to push on. We've got Ginger Crossy and Salesman are also doing some flying laps at the moment. And before we get to the very serious part of qualifying, we do need to look at the standings. As you would have seen last week, is that the older standings? Apologies, I'll bring up the new standings because we do have a champion. Let's bring up the new standings. Here we go. That's right, there's the new standings, and we do have a champion, and it's 40 after last race. Zach Crichton crashed out, and that gap now cannot be made up. So congratulations to 40 on a well-deserved Season 2 of the Elite Series Championship. It was an epic battle all the way down to the wire, and unfortunately it couldn't be the last race, but you can't always get what you wish for, can you? But it was very exciting all the way through the season with Zach Crichton making that charge after 40 midway through the season, and 40 was able to hold on. But what we do have for you today is a Constructors Standings Championship up for grabs. Mercedes on 291, Williams on 281, and both the Williams and the Mercedes drivers are in this race, and we've got 13 drivers, so there's plenty of points up for grabs, and I think that one will be decided tonight. Well, obviously it'll be decided tonight, won't it? It is the last race, so I'm very excited to see who'll be able to crown themselves Constructor Championship champions. Sorry, I'm getting tangled in my words tonight. A little bit too excited. Will it be Zach and Plebs, or will it be 40 and Crossy? We'll find out tonight. So very exciting race coming up for you, that's for sure. Let's head back over to the track. And We're still with 40, so we'll check out from that. Let's see some times that were set during our look at the standings. Zach Crichton's a 133.9, Salesman a 134.1. Niku close behind, 134.3, not too bad. Crossy 134.4, Rhythms and Geordie there 135. If I'm not mistaken, I think there's no racing line today, so a little step up there for Geordie. And Aaron has dropped a 134.1 there, and we see in the background Shapalele just coming out of the pits for his lap. Let's go on board with 40 here. He's doing his... Is this his hot lap? It looks like it, yes. So we'll go on board so we can listen to the Williams driver, hear that engine, Mercedes engine of Williams. Here we go. Fairly smooth from the Williams driver, our champion of Season 2. Of course, Season 3 will be kicking off in a few weeks' time on F1 2020. Race Spec has some... He's just coming in. He looks like he's invalidated. Race Spec does have some qualifying races to see what tiers everyone will be in. So it'll be important for anyone wishing to race with Race Spec that they do fill in the sign-in sheets over the next couple of weeks so we can do those trial races. It's especially valuable if you've never raced with Race Spec before. We can get a good gauge of your speed, make sure we put you into the right championship or tier level. Those that have been with Race Spec, we obviously have a good baseline of where they're at and how well they're improving. F1 in 2020 is a different ballgame though. I've speaking to a lot of people, F1 2018 to 2019, there was a little bit of a gap in terms of skills. Some people went down, some people went up. The game was just, I guess it leaned towards other driving styles, and some people improved their times dramatically just with the title switch. So that could definitely happen this time. We could see some people pull a rabbit out of the hat and just be naturally quicker at the new game with the new physics model. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. We have Shapalele currently on his lap. Let's go on board on the T-Cam with the Renault. Of course, F1 in real life back tonight. I'm sure everyone will be tuning into that one. Mercedes again look like they are on another level. Just a magnificent organisation and how it's run. If Toto does leave, I think that'll be a huge blow to the Mercedes cohort. If you haven't listened to the F1 podcast where they do an interview with Toto Wolff, I recommend it. It was a great insight into how Mercedes is run and how it works. You can find that on all your good podcasts. Just travel back through there. Beyond the Grid. An excellent interview. Chapellet a little bit scrappy through that section there and lost a little bit of time. I find this section really tricky, the bumps. You need to go over them, but they do unsettle the car a fair bit. Especially if you're using the wheel, which most of these guys are today. Can get quite a lot of feedback. A 134.2, not too bad from the Renault driver. Can get quite a bit of feedback if you take the bumps on this track a little bit out of sorts. The car jumps around a lot, but if you get it right, it's very smooth over the bumps. You can get some really nice angles over the apexes, but it is a fine line, and your car can get very unsettled here very easily. So it's a very tricky track, very technical, favours the technical driver. Especially this uphill section at the end of the straight here. Chapellet goes straight through, a little bit naughty there. I'll just try and go on board so we can go through it. I think Salesman's about to go through. Yeah, you come up here and then you can easily lose traction here, and there's that little bump. I don't know if you could see that on the screen there. There's a little dip in the road, and there's another place you can really lose traction. If you try and floor it through there, you think you're safe. Just a little bump in the road, it can really throw the car and it put you into that right hand wall. Nose first often. So you do have to be very careful there. It's a lot like Suzuka on the F1 2019 game. There's that bump going downhill towards the finish line. It can really unsettle the car. And if you're not careful, you can throw the back end out. So they do need to be careful here again. Tricky circuit. Zach Crichton at 133.9. Still the pole sitter at the moment. We have a yellow flag. I think it's Ginger. No damage, but just went for a little bit of a spin there. Now for Romeo. Spilly's making some predictions, even though he's in the race. Pole Zach, winner Zach. 42nd, Aaron 3rd, and bold. Spilly for top 10 by lap 2. That is bold. 13 people in the race. He's really put himself in the marketplace for some points here today, Spilly. See if we can find a flying lap. We have 40's teammate here, Crossy. I don't think we can underestimate how much Crossy was helping his teammate out. A very good teammate for 40 this season. Gave him a lot of toes down some straights in some qualifying sessions. Oh, he's lost it. Tank slapper straight into the wall. That's a long way round from there. Long way round. You've just passed the pit entry. So flicks it around, and now he's going to go the whole lap with no front wing. So that's going to be a long journey for Crossy. 40 goes bang. Our championship winner, a 133.9. 0.018 quicker. And then Zach Crichton goes quicker again by a lot. 133.5, 4/10 quicker, or 3.5 tenths quicker than 40. Really good lap there from Zach. And Spilly says he can start on the mediums. Still in the pits here. Might have a qualifying ban actually. Might have to check that. Rhythm's in the pits. Geordie coming into the pits now. We're getting to this point where if you're not in the pits, it's a quite a long lap. It's not really, but it's deceptively long. You think you have enough time to get all the way around and get into the pits and then back out, but a few things hamper you, especially the pit exit hampers you. It's quite long and it's quite slow. You've got to go underneath the bridge. Or the tunnel, as it was. So it can be deceptive. You do need probably just under 2 minutes to get around to start your last lap. So Zach should have enough time to get in. Plebs has set his lap a 134.4. It could be the battle between Crossy and Plebs that decides this championship here. If one of them can finish a couple of places higher than the other, that'll be super important. Let's see some stewards in the background just having a look. And that's Plebs going around. Hopefully he'll be able to get back into the pits. Most are heading that way. Jump a line and still looking around on hards. I'm interested to see if he does try a big lap on the softs. And Ginger's coming in as well. Nice matching helmet there from Ginger. Perfect colour for the Alfa Romeo. So we really have had some standout races this season. Some very interesting ones as well. Canada springs to mind. Chapelele took that one out. We had some hurricane or typhoon conditions cause the safety cars. First time I've seen it in 2019 where we've had a safety car just because of the weather. There was no crash. And what that did was brought Chapelele's strategy into play where he was already switched tyres and managed to come out in front last to first during that safety car and ran away with the race after that. And it was a bit of a turning point in the season, made it very interesting. As Plebs cuts across that, he's trying to get back in. Or to start a lap, I think maybe trying to get back in to do another lap. I don't think he's going to have enough time. It's going to be very tight. He's doing a lot of shortcuts there. There's our salesman. Everyone else is in the pits. Chapelele's out. he doing a hot lap? He is doing a hot lap on the mediums. This will be his last go. No, he's decided he's out. Must have invalidated. Everyone's starting to come out now. Salesman on his out lap. The Toro Rosso just joined for the last few races. I'd say he'd be pretty keen to join Season 3 of the Elite Series. He's been quite quick, that has for sure. So is Ginger, actually, just joined the last couple of races as well. We'll see what they're able to do next season with a permanent seat. How quick they will be. Of course, a lot of liveries have changed this season as well. We'll have to see how that goes. And if they've patched the Mercedes livery to make it the black one. Wouldn't be a hard job for them to do, so hopefully they've done it with the first install patch. Yeah, Chevrolet certainly did have a brake failure. A lot of scrappy laps going on here. Geordie's on his hot lap. Let's see if he can improve on the 134.6 he's done so far. Really flag in sector 1. That was just the Red Bull slowing down, I would say. Getting a really nice toe off Miku there. Thank you very much. The Haas team working together. Heavy on the brakes, not too bad. Big bump there, doesn't help. But takes it in his stride. Quite nice at the moment, quite smooth. This is a tricky section here. If you don't get these apexes right, you lose a lot of time. Not too bad, but it's also very easy to invalidate as well. So he's going okay at the moment, Geordie. Doesn't cut that curb. A lot of people cut that curb on the right hand there. Geordie will just duck out of the way before he starts his flying lap. And let's see, what time is he going to get here? Not a bad lap. And is he improved? No, not improved. He could have invalidated there. I didn't see his time or his sectionals, whether he was quicker or slower, but it didn't look too bad of a lap. Zach Crichton on board now. He is going faster. That's ominous for the rest of the field at the moment. The Ginger following him through. Did we miss the split? I think we did. We missed the split. Let's see what 40, if he's up or not. We missed the split there as well. That's irritating. Salesman's up though. Let's stay with him. He goes third. And Ginger is up. Zach's 40, sorry, is down. So we'll stay with Ginger. He might be able to grab pole here if he can snag a few more tenths. We'll see what Zach's, if he can go faster or not. Very wide. I'd say that's a big no off that wide turn that he's put in there. Let's see, Ginger on board. On the gas early, oh, he's touched the wall. That'll cost him a little bit. Coming around. Could have cost him pole. I did a 133.4. But he's invalidated. 40 goes pole. Gee, it didn't look like he was up. Just though, look at that. 0.037. Just showing us why he is our champion this season. Putting it on pole in the last lap of the session, or the last driver to go across the line. And this championship, Constructors Championship, is up for grabs. Let's check on Plebs. He's 7th and Crossy is 9th. So all to play for here. Who wants the Constructors title? It's going to be tense and it's going to be exciting. We will see you shortly. We're just waiting for Geordie to pit. We'll wait for him to get in there and for the game to start loading. We'll head to our intro and then we'll be back for the start of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Hopefully you'll stick around. As we see, just crashing into the house there. AI. Alright. So, an entertaining qualifying. 40 on pole. Zach on the front row with him. Should be another great race between those two rivals. We'll be back very shortly. We're just waiting for everyone to load. If you're just joining the stream now, welcome. We are at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the final round of the PS4 Elite Series Season 2 Championship. The champion has already been decided. Last race in Mexico. Not Mexico. What was it? Japan, sorry. Japan was the last round. And 40 took away the championship in Japan after Zach Crichton crashed out. It means that he is the championship, so that is done and dusted. But what is not done and dusted is the Constructors title. And that's all to play for here. The Mercedes team of Plebs and Zach Crichton up against the Williams team of 40 and Crossy, who will take out the Constructors title. While we're waiting for them to load, let's bring up our Constructors standings again, and we can see that Mercedes 291, Williams 281, so 10 points of difference. We'll keep that in mind during the telecast, and it'll be what we'll be talking about most of the time. I think checking on those four drivers. We'll spot the other guys as well who are doing some nice laps, etc. But that's the focus of today, the championship, the Constructors Championship, and who will be able to take that out. As we head back, and we're just going on our formation lap now. 40 leading the way out in the Williams. Fractionally faster than Zach Crichton. Fractions of a second. It just goes to show you how close they are to each other. Now let's talk strategy as well and bring up our telemetry. So at the start of qualifying, we did talk about our strategies. Generally, if you do a little bit of tire saving, you can do a soft medium, a one stopper. If you don't like that, you can go flat out and do a softer hard, or a soft medium, or a variation of those. So there is a few options here in Abu Dhabi as to what strategy you take. Of course, you spend hours agonizing over what strategy to do, what will be the quickest, and then there's a safety car at about lap 5 and you throw it out the window and have to think about how you're going to fix it. So always interesting. We only have 13 drivers here today for the last round, so there may not be a safety car. Well, there's less chance, let's just say that way. The medium starters, Geordie and Spilly, so let's see what they're able to do on those mediums. Different strategy for them, whether they go as long as they possibly can and then stick the red boots on, just doing it in reverse, or if they go for the extra stop and do double softs. I feel like the mediums, you have a little bit more flexibility if there's a safety car. Always a bit of Russian roulette in the softs, especially if it's early on. Those mediums can duck in and then do soft. You can generally get about 9 good laps, 8 or 9 good laps on those softs. 10, you're starting to be right on the edge of wear, and we've got a few people touching each other. They're lucky not to be reset to track. So, final round. Our driver has been decided. Our constructor has not. It's all to play for here. Who will get the Constructors Championship? Will it be Williams? Will it be Mercedes? Let's find out as they line up on the grid. Sun glaring. It'll be dark by the end of this race, I believe. And here we go. Last few cars forming up now. Have a good view here. We did have a good view. We do now. And it is Zach Crichton and 40 to lead us away. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and away we go in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the final race of the PS4 Elite Series. And Aaron gets an amazing start, and he passes both of our pole and our second. Oh, he gets swamped a little bit though. 40 holds on to that lead. Zach Crichton still fighting with Aaron there. He's going to go wheel to wheel on the inside. High speed right-hander. Very nice to hold on to that. Aaron yields. Ginger is right behind Aaron though, looking to make that move. He's made up a place, that's for sure. Spilly's made up 4 places down there in 10th. You can see that pink racing point making up a lot of places in the background. But as we go through down the main straight for the first time here today, it is 40 leading the way from Zach Crichton, Aaron, Ginger, Miku, Shapalele, Rhythms, Crossy, Plevs, Geordie, Spilly, Jompalainen is up a place. Salesman had a big amount of drama there. Hopefully he's okay. No, he's gone. I can't see what happened to him. He's not in the train here at the moment though. Let's take away the tyres. We know what's going on there. Let's bring up our places up and down. Shapalele made some ground. Rhythms has had a good start as well, as we see Ginger defending for his life here from Miku. And is there a touch there? There's yellow flags. There was a little bit of a touch. No one's dropping down from what I can see. Looks like the yellow flags might be for the Toro Rosso salesman struggling to get back round to the pits. We do have a nice view here of 40 leading out from Zach Crichton. Going to be finishing the first lap here. Aaron's built out a little gap there to Ginger, which is handy for the Red Bull driver. 40 already 3 seconds. That's brutal. 3 seconds on the first lap. Not what you want at all. He's going to have to make that up later on in the race. And Plebs has had a bad start. And Crossy's managed to jump up in front of him there. So that's important in the constructors. So at the moment, we definitely have Williams in front. They had a 10-point gap. No, Mercedes had the 10-point gap. And it looks like, if we do our math, Mercedes still have a little bit of a lead at the moment as Salesman's retired in the pits. Maybe too much damage for him to go on, which is sad to see. No more Toro Rossos on the grid as, oh, Zach just makes the dummy move, goes to the inside. Is he going to be able to make it stick? He's going to have the inside going back up the following corner of this chicane. They're going wheel to wheel, pushing him out wide. They're going to go wheel to wheel down here. Aaron's looking for a way through. Can't thread the needle there. Still wheel to wheel here. Zach's going to have to defend coming up. We can't see. Not a good view there. Locks the brakes. Holds the position, and an excellent move. Outstanding move by the Mercedes driver to get that done over the Williams driver of 40, and he's going to hold that position. Really nice, respectful wheel-to-wheel racing from those two. And now he's going to be under pressure, though, from 40, that's for sure. As Aaron goes very wide, slides all the way out. Just probably went down a gear, went too fast in there. Oh, there's an Alfa Romeo's gone sideways as well. Ginger's trying to hold on to position. Miku's going to take that place off him. And it's all happening here. I was just saying, Aaron managed to hold on to that position somehow. I have no idea how. He was very Tokyo Drift sideways. I was just saying maybe a cause of that was because if you do drop down a gear too early going into that corner and you're going a little bit too hot, you can send the car very sideways. Shapalele's out. Did he have an accident? Plebs, well, yeah, there's been carnage there, and it could have been a chain reaction from Aaron. Plebs has reset his wing. He's got to stay out there. He's got to fight back now. He's going to have to do a two-stopper, that's for sure. So he'll be hoping for some sort of safety car. Let's go back up here because 40 is overtaking Zach, doing it very easily down this straight. Now they have the same amount of ERS. Zach's going to try and come back at him here. And we'll see if he's able to get the move done down straight here. This is a ding-dong battle between our championship contenders. Of course, 40's won the championship, but they were battling all season. It's no different here in Abu Dhabi. As Zach tries to get the inside, not quite side by side. 40 holds on to that position. He's going to hold it the rest of this lap, probably until the next straight, that's for sure. But they've broken away here because of Aaron's error previously, right at this corner that he's coming up to now. He went in way too hot here, very sideways, and it caused a bit of a concertina effect back down in the field, and there was a broken wing from Plebs. I think that's where it's happened. We were concentrating on the battle at the front, and Plebs has had a broken wing. Chapelet is out of the race, so he actually had a huge accident. It might be tough here to get a safety car unless there's a really big accident though, and you have to be in a really bad spot to have your parked car and bring out that safety car. So Rhythms, he's the big winner here. Avoided all that carnage. He's up 6 places. He's in 4th. Doing an outstanding job in the Racing Point. You can see the difference in nose from that 2019 car to this year's Mercedes replica from the Racing Point. But Aaron's defending now from Rhythms. And is Zach Crichton going to make a move here? It seemed like 40 got a better exit out of the hairpin, and not able to make a move there, Zach. So he'll have to hold behind 40. But who did make a good move is Miku. Ginger's going to try and fight back here down this straight. We'll stay with this because I think Ginger's going to possibly have DRS. And he's on the outside. And he gets that move done fairly comfortably, although very close to the back is there Miku. He's not going to let him get away with it easily. And this is working out beautifully for Crossy and 40 in the Williams team. Because now they would be very close to the lead of the Constructors' Championship. So all to play for here. I think Crossy would need a couple more positions to make up that gap. As Spilly doing a great job on those medium tyres as well. So back to our lead is 40 and Zach Crichton. Zach stalking 40 through this section. You're right down into 4th there. And you hold it through here. These softs will be screaming now. We're on lap 5. They'll be starting to wear out. And you can very easily, if you're a novice, lose it through that high speed right hand up. Probably took way too much curb there. Lost a little bit of time. Let's see if Zach's going to get a good exit out of this hairpin. As we go on board with the Mercedes driver. As Plev sets a fastest lap on the mediums. Trying his best to catch up. Jumpalainen's in the pits. That's very early for Jumpalainen. Must have had some sort of incident as well. As last of the late breakers catches right up to the back of 40 there. And jumps that curve nicely. Good traction. Although, when I say nicely, illegally nicely, he gained a 3-second penalty for that. And he's totally out of ERS now. As with Aaron, it keeps changing to that view. We want to see this. Ginger getting swamped. Rhythms had a real big look down the inside there. Just couldn't make that one stick. And it's a real big battle here for 3rd, that's for sure. Aaron's been defending for his life for a fair few laps now. And it's just letting 40 and Zach get away. But Ginger, unfortunately, can't get past Aaron. And that's causing him to be under a lot of pressure from Rhythms, Miku, Crossy. And then Geordie's dropped off a little bit from that pack. And Geordie's doing okay to hang on here on the mediums. We've got to remember Geordie and Spilly are on mediums. As Ginger's come in, so he's doing a 2-stopper. Ginger's come in. Let's see this stop here. Straight onto the mediums. He could be doing a 1-stopper. He'd have to do some tyre saving though, so I won't nail down a 2-stopper for Ginger. But he has come in early. But he may have gone the undercut, and he's figured I'm going to save time if I just save my tyres a little bit later in the race. If I can get some clear air here, I'll be able to put in some better times anyway. So it was just better to undercut now than to stay out on the track, which makes sense. So some good strategy, good thinking inside the helmet there of Ginger. Probably a good time for him to pit. He's come out 5 seconds ahead of Plevs, which is interesting. And here we go. Here's Rhythms making a move now. We've got a bad camera angle. That's a better one. Gee, Aaron jumped the curb there to hold on to that position. possibly a warning. Rhythm's going to go back around the outside. Aaron's got a bad angle into this corner now. And they slam on the brakes. Hard one because you're coming into that corner already turning the car a little bit. You've got to straighten it as much as you can so you can brake as hard as you can without locking that front right. And it was done very well there from Rhythms, who takes third position in the final race of the PS4 Elite Series. So really well done from the Racing Point driver. He's pit after they did all that work in pit. So he's also decided it's time to come in and get that undercut. And he's put the mediums on as well. I think you can go to the end here. I mean, it's touch and go. You need to do a little bit of tyre saving. Got a nice helmet there, Rhythms, actually. Just caught my eye. We'll see that go through now. But you're probably looking to go to lap 9. Is optimal, I think. But all that changes when you're stuck in traffic. We know that. Got to think on your feet. It's one of the things in this game you don't really have an engineer talking you through what you need to do. Although I'm sure, like these guys, they wouldn't believe him anyway. Hamilton doesn't. He never believes his engineer, always doubting his engineer. That's what he gets paid the big bucks for, the strategist, to make those decisions. So they've got a good break here. 40's actually made a good 1.6 second gap to Zach now. So PS40 has a bit more speed. They're both doing this similar strategy in ERS managing. Both got about 16% left. It'll be interesting to see when they come in. So when is Zach going to pull the trigger? Because now a set of medium boots is going to be quicker than the softs. But you're going to pay for it later in the race. So when do you come in? They both stay out again. Is Aaron going to come in and cover off? No, he decides to stay out as well. Miku stays out. Everyone is staying out. They're not covering off the two that have already come in Ginger and Rhythms. And we can see how much Ginger made up. 4 seconds, 4.3 seconds by pitting 1 lap before Ginger. So, before Rhythms. So, just goes to show you, it was a really good decision. He's going to have to be careful on the wear if he wants to do a one-stopper. Unless he's just going to go flat stick and then build up enough gap to get on the softs. Go right to the end on a spare set of softs. But it's a big undercut. So these guys need to be thinking, when do I come in? If I'm 40 or Zach, I'm thinking now. If 40 goes around again and I'm in Zach's position, I would be pitting right now and putting those medium tyres on and trying to undercut 40. So we'll see what happens here. As what's happened there? Is Geordie had an accident, or he's just been passed by Miku? I think just passed down the straight. Possibly got a really bad exit there. So Crossy's up into 4th, doing okay, doing his job for the Williams team, that's for sure. The purple helmet. And we're getting near the end of the lap now. Let's see what happens here with our front 2 drivers. This will be all important. Is 40 going to duck into the pits? Let's see. He goes around again. Does Zach duck into the pits? And he does. So this is interesting. Good decision here from Zach. I think he's got one on 40 here. And it's a good stop. As much as a good stop in F1 2019 is, they're all fairly standard. You can get the bad one every now and then though. Crossy comes in as well. And that's possibly why, although they had enough time, as we just saw, they could have both come in. They wouldn't have double stacked. Crossy needs to change his wing. That's unfortunate. He's going to lose a lot of time there. That's going to give Plebs a bit of time to catch up. That's what Plebs was looking for over Crossy. Plebs can't go to the end. Unless it's an amazing effort, he can't go to the end on those mediums. So he does need to build a big gap here. He's got about 8-9 seconds. Not too bad. And Aaron still 8.3. Look at the gap the 40's pulled over the rest of the field. Him and Zach Crichton. Remember, Geordie and Spilly are out there. What happened to Spilly? Spilly, he did have to pit He's put on the hards. He must have had the pit, must have had an accident while we're focusing on those front guys. That's not what he would have been looking for. And let's see, 40. Where's he on the track right now? So he's going to come into the pit. So let's stay on board with 40. We'll stay with him because we want to see where he comes out in comparison to Zach. Doesn't get a time penalty. Very important. So easy to do sometimes, especially when you're eager to get into the pits and get out again as quickly as possible. Alright. So where's Zach? Coming around now. Already past 40 technically. And yeah, it was a good undercut. A very good undercut. It was a lot actually, because remember, Zach was about 1.5 seconds behind 40. Now 40's come out about 1.1. So it's about a 2.5 second undercut there. He's stuck behind Ginger though, and that's costing him, I think. He's quicker than Ginger. So 40 wouldn't be too unhappy with this. He's in the DRS zone now of Zach. Had a little lock up there. Didn't expect them to brake so hard. And probably in the box seat here. He knows he's got a bit more pace than Zach. Well, that was shown earlier in the race. So be feeling confident. I don't think Zach would have been holding back. And he's right on the gearbox of the Mercedes driver right now. Let's check that gap to Plevs and Crossy. It looks like it's about 7.5. So Plevs not really making time up there on Crossy. As the Haas driver ducks in. That's Miku. So Ginger's got a bit of a train on him here. And Zach and 40 who are trying to win this race. That's for position though, so Ginger can do what he likes. He picked quite a bit earlier than the other two. That was a big jump. They've only had one, yeah. Let's just check. Yeah, so Ginger's effectively in the lead of this race. By pitting really early, he's done a huge undercut on the others, but his tyres will be screaming at the end of the race. Probably, oh, they've both had to duck and go round him on the outside. This is three-way into this corner. It doesn't often work, and there's a massive crash. Both of our contenders have crashed into each other. Ginger would still have some wing damage, and even though 40 went sideways there, it was horizontal. He's been pushed back right ways by Zach. Good team, good sportsmanship, whether he meant it or not. And they're still racing. How much damage they all have, I don't know. But 3 into that chicane does not work at all. And somehow Ginger's come out the benefactor. But 40 just went too deep there, I think. Couldn't get the car stopped and turned in time. And that clattered into the other two. And that caused a bit of an issue. But he's got both M plates. Ginger has M plates and Zach has his M plates as well. So if they do have damage, the maximum they have was maybe a little bit a yellow wing or a light green wing that they can manage. Although 40 goes very wide there, indicating he possibly has damage on the inside right of his front wing. He'll have to get used to that. You can't pit to fix that. But that could be very important in the Constructors' Championship here. If he does have a significant amount of damage, that's going to give Zach a lot more time up his sleeve. And if anyone was going to have damage because of that, 40's initial contact on the right-hand side in front of his car into Ginger's side pod there. And then they all sort of clattered into each other. No huge damage though. I think they'll just might have light green damage. But it was dicey going in there. 3 into 1 never works. 2 into 1 doesn't really work in this chicane. Oh, 40's locked up again. Did he hit the back? No, not quite. But that's not going to do his tyres any favours either. Huge lock up there from 40. Again, he went really deep into that corner. Really racing here. As Geordie's getting overtaken now by Ginger. He's got much older mediums, just remember that. Geordie has not pit yet. Rhythms is catching this pack as well. Remember, he was the second person to pit behind Ginger the lap after. And Geordie's fighting for this. It's for position. He doesn't have to yield. Gee, a bit dodgy there. Zach goes very wide. But now 40's stuck behind Geordie for the moment. Is he going to try and get through? No, he has to pull out of that move. He really wants to get past as quickly as possible though. And where's he going to be able to get it done? I'm not sure. It'll be bold if he goes for it now. He does go for it now. And just gets it done. A little bit of sparks. Gets it done there. So he really needed to get it done as soon as possible. And he did that, the Williams driver. As Miku sets a nice fastest lap at 138.3. And now 40 can stay on the tail of Zach Crichton. I'd love to know how much damage they have and how much they're fighting for this. Or fighting the car, I should say, through this track. But Ginger holds that lead. Zach's making time up on him here. Is he going to make a move? Goes wide, doubles back, dummies him, and locks up very heavy. Little bit of a love tap there. Gets it done. Probably a bit nice there from Ginger. Oh, little contact there as well. Again, he's going to be slow now. 40's going to be able to make a move here. As we see them come around. No, 40's going to be stuck behind. Zach's defending the inside. Ginger goes around the outside. A little bit of respect there through that corner. We haven't seen that too often in the last couple of laps. Elbows have definitely been out. And there's a bit of carbon fiber going flying across the track there. Whose is that? Is that Zach's? I don't think so. He's got both his end plates. Not sure what that was. It's a UFO flying across the track there. Unidentified flying debris. We'll call it a UFOD. And Zach is still behind Ginger. Really nice defensive driving there from Ginger. Zach licked the postage stamp, sent it down the inside, and didn't quite make it stick. And let's just say that that envelope has been returned to sender. He's going to have to try and send it again. 0.5 second now. He might not be close enough through this next section. 40 will be though, so Zach's probably going to have to defend here, if anything. And all this carnage and all this battling has brought Rhythms right up to the back of this group, and now he's going to be fighting for it as well. Really good racing, really good action here tonight. Hope you're enjoying it. Here we go, 40. He's going to have a look. He doesn't have DRS over Zach because he has it as well. And Zach's going to defend on the inside. 40's going to try and go around the outside. Doesn't quite work. Probably not close enough. It doesn't really work as well. The slipstream isn't as good when you both have DRS, that's for sure. Ginger might be defending here though. Oh, Zach makes another big lunging move. He's doing a lot of dummies and a lot of sideways movement, trying to get all through the mirrors there and make the driver in front of him second guess where he's going to overtake. And Ginger hasn't fallen for it so far. Good defensive driving display here from the Alfa Romeo driver. This is definitely an entertaining battle. It's going to go right down to the wire. We're at lap 14. We're about halfway through this race. And Plebs hasn't built any sort of gap over Crossy, so I have to watch that strategy with interest as well. Let's see what Plebs is doing, whether he's pushing or saving those tyres, trying to make those mediums go to the end. It would be amazing if he made them go to the end. He pitted on lap 3 for a broken wing. And it looks like Spilly, he's still cruising around on those hard tyres. Jopalina, we haven't seen him much in this race. We're just sticking with this lead group. There's 4 of them now. It's very exciting. I feel like if I peel away to look at anyone else, there'll be a massive accident and 2 of them will be taken out. I don't want that to happen, so we're going to stay here with the league pack. And let's see what Zach's going to do down this straight this time. Very close. He's going to make a move here on the outside. He goes right around the outside. 40 goes very close to his gearbox. He holds the inside. Ginger gives him space. A lot of respect there. And now they're going to go drag racing down this secondary straight. Here they go. They're going to come in. And Zach's going to have to defend. 40's going to hold this. And wheel the wheel. Really nice move there from 40. He's going to hold on to it. Oh, he goes very wide. Nearly into the fence. And, oh, that was close. He's still off the track there, 40. And he's pulled back on now, but Ginger's got a second gap after those two were ducking and Drake. Oh, don't even know what I'm trying to say here. I'm too excited. Ducking and weaving was what I was looking for. And a lot of it off the black stuff, which was very interesting. A few evasive maneuvers there. Lucky to keep it out of the fence there, 40. Rhythms didn't capitalize on that carnage either. Yeah, but Ginger, he's lost that half a second already. So these guys behind do appear to be quicker than him. And he's doing really well to defend here. Just taking some really nice lines into the corner, making it as difficult as possible for Zach Crichton to get past. He's going to have to make a mega move to get past Ginger at this rate. As we stick with our leader, Ginger, in the Alfa Romeo. It's not really the shot we want. Zach, not quite a good entry as exit as last time. And no moves are made this time down the straight. Gives us a little breather. A little bit of time to assess. Possibly a move getting done here as Williams 40 goes right round the outside. Because of that kink, it is a little bit longer around there. It's not ideal. Zach's on the inside. We can see how close he's getting. He's going to try and hold it here. Wheel to wheel again. And has he touched Ginger there? Ginger defends well. There's a great battle between these three. We've had some very sketchy moments, but all three are still racing, still battling. As we see a good helicopter view here. See a couple of different lines. 40's gotten past Zach there. He made a mistake. 40 able to duck through on that previous couple of corners ago. So now Zach's going to have to try and fight back. He tried to make all the moves. None of them stuck. And now he finds himself in third, looking at the back of that Williams. What are we going to do here? Geez, all over the back of him. All through the mirrors. Rhythms is just sitting pretty at the moment. That's ambitious. That is ambitious. And it doesn't stick. And he's probably compromised himself down the straight here. Get a good view here. Yeah, he didn't get a good exit because he just really wasn't going to work into that hairpin. He needed to be a little bit more patient probably. Locks up again. Going in here, but still battling. We've got 11 more laps of this. And it'd be intense in the cockpit of those cars at the moment. There's 40 ducking and weaving. I feel like they're losing a bit of time trying to put some doubt into the car in front, and that's giving the car behind a look as well. Aaron gets a 3-second time penalty. But they're definitely doing a lot of switchback maneuvers to try and second guess the car in front. 40's going to try and go around the outside here. It's going to work. Ginger's still defending, and it gives 40 a good line here. Is this going to work? It is going to work, and he takes the lead of the race, Williams driver, and Zach takes advantage as well. And Ginger's is going to pit. He's pit. He wants to put on the soft tires. So he might be out of the battle for the lead of this, for the podium here, because I think Rhythms might have to pit too if Ginger's had to pit. Probably way too early. Plebs has pit as well. That brings Miku up. So now it's back just a battle of three. There's 3 left. I think Rhythms had to really push to stay with these guys. He's had no time to save his tyres. He's going to have to pit as well. Put on the softs. And he probably should have gone when he saw Ginger duck in. Because Ginger's going to be rapid coming out of this one. As Zach goes down the inside, locks him up. Oh, Rhythms gets very close as well. And another good move from Zach. This is really good driving from all of them here. 40's going to have a fight back. And he does get that move done and gets it stuck. So 40 back into the lead of this race. This is just back and forth. It's tiring to watch as Zach goes very wide there. Very wide indeed. That's given 40 a little bit of breathing room. Not too much, just enough. All that really changes is he probably can't feel the breath on the back of his neck, because that's how close these guys have been to each other. And here we go. When's he going to make another move? Is he going to wait to the big straight? That'd be my suggestion. They've put in some real dodgy moves, trying to catch each other by surprise, going into corners that aren't necessarily passing corners. Although every corner is a passing corner, of course, but not the most ideal and safest place to do it. And Rhythms is really holding on. He's gone around again, so that's compromising him if he's not going to the end. He's really going to fall behind Ginger, that's for sure. So is Zach going to make a move? Let's go on board. I don't think he's close enough. He's just switched everything in there. He's only on high, so he's not going to go for it there. Probably just going to save a little bit. We can see he's got a little bit more ERS than 40 at the moment. So he can make that attempt a little bit later on. Still plenty of laps here. Rhythms is starting to drop off a little bit. Aaron's done well to hang in there as also the Red Bull driver. Running his own race there. He's got a nice buffer to Miku. Ginger put the mediums on, did he? Yeah, he did. Or are they the hard? Yeah, mediums. So he won't be that quick. If he mustn't have had a spare set of softs. As you see, Crossy's going okay. Plev's fair way behind Crossy, about 7.5 seconds. So before they get to the next straight, let's just bring up our constructor standings again. So Mercedes have a 10-point lead over Williams. And it could be wiped out here. Gonna get 7 from 40, and then Crossy's in 7th, Plevs is in 9th. It could be a draw at this rate. Have to really wait and see at the end of the race. But it's definitely going to be close. I'll just bring up some points so I'm not making anything up here. I'd hate to have it in my head what you get for certain points and it's incorrect. So yeah, we've got Zach Crichton overtaking here, taking the lead. 40 fighting back down this straight. Zach's going to have the inside, but 40's going to have the inside of the next chicane. And Zach yields. So they'll go around again with the Williams in front. So let's say that 40 stays in front while I'm talking here. He's going to get 25 points. 7 more points than Zach Crichton. That leaves 3 points left. Crossy's now in 6th. So Crossy's in 6th. If it finishes as it is now, he'll get 8 points. Plevs will get 2. And that will give Williams the Constructors title. So if it all finishes as it is now, Williams will win the title. So Plevs needs to get a wriggle on and get past Spilly. And let's bring up their tyres because a few people have done some different strategies here. So Plevs is on mediums and full lap on medium. So because he had to pit so early, went soft, medium, medium. Spilly's on the hards, so they won't be great. So Plevs should be able to reel him in a little bit here. Rhythms is on the softs. He'll probably overtake Crossy any minute now. And that will lose Williams 2 points, which means they'll be in front by 1 point. So, all to play for here. It's going to come down to what Crossy and Plevs do as to who wins this championship, I think. Unless if Zach takes the lead here, then it's over. So if Zach wins this race, it's over. But if 40 wins this race, it's going to come down to what Crossy and Plebs do. So we'll keep an eye on all of it for these last 7 laps. But very exciting race. Here's, oh, you went back and forth. A lot of weaving there from 40. Trying to work out how to get past the silver arrow that's in front of him at the moment. He does have 1 lap fresher tyres, 40, but that'll be marginal at the moment. He has locked up a few times, so it could be the similar amount of percentage damage done to those tyres. Jump alone, 3-second time penalty. Not a big one in the context of things. He's currently last. So now 40 has to play the game. When is he going to overtake him again? I've been back and forth, back and forth. It's been very exciting, and Rhythms has got that move done on Crossy. So now, at the moment, Mercedes have the Constructors title. They have one hand on it. If Zach can hold this position, if 40 overtakes Zach, then Williams will win the Constructors title. This is intense. Is he going to make a move here? He's probably not quite close enough. Sort of need to be about 0.4 when you come out of that hairpin. No, not close enough. Zach's going to hold it here. Is he going to make a move down the next one though? He gets DRS again here. No, he didn't hit the beat, but he does have DRS. He's going to go down the outside. We can see Zach's point of view here on the inside. Little lock up there, and 40 holds it. So now 40 back into the lead, and Williams have their hand on the other side of the Constructors' Cup. As they come into that heavy braking zone there. Really tricky one, because you still are, as I said, on an angle. Sometimes when you come through into that corner, you very easily lock up and spin around. Now, is Plebs gaining on Spilly? He is, 2.3 seconds. So this is crucial for Mercedes. If Plebs can get past Spilly, that will make a massive difference to the championships. Then it's 2 points, and that'll flip it around. So even if 40 wins, if Plebs gets past Spilly, that'll be huge. Is Zach going to make a move here? Is he going to be able to stay close enough? Let's go on board. Nice and tight. Very smooth out of there. Not quite close. Not close enough to make a move. He could make it down the second straight like 40 did though. Let's stay on board so we can see how it's done. 2 of the best here. Gets very close to the back of the gearbox. And now he's going to be able to turn DRS on now. 40 got a really good exit there though. He's going to be pushing it if he can catch him. I don't think he can. He's going to have to yield for the moment and sit behind the Williams all the way through this next section. The yellow flag, sectors 1 and 2. Not sure who that was. Possibly jumper line, and I think, yeah, it was jumper line. And Plebs now 1.87, 1.7 seconds. He can see Spilly now, just up ahead. That's the Constructors' Championship there, Plebs. You've got to fight for it. You've got 5 laps left. You've got to catch Spilly. And Crossy's not that much further ahead. You go very wide there. Everyone's going very wide there. Do you not get a warning for that? I need to talk to the stewards about that for the F1 2020 game. That should be a warning. You carry a lot of speed by going wide there. Catching him rapidly. 1 point. It's under a second now. Under a second. 40 is ahead at the moment. So currently as it stands, Williams win by a point. If I've done my math correctly. It's possible I haven't, but I think I have. Plebs. He needs to get past Spilly to bring the championship home to Mercedes. the Constructors title. They didn't get the Drivers title. They want the Constructors. There's a little bit of runners-up prize. This one's for the whole team in the garage. DRS will be open. Spilly doesn't have DRS. Gonna get it done. Whoa, very wide. Nearly flicked himself into the fence there. Holds on to it. Spilly pulls it up in time. And now Plebs is looking at Crossy. If he can get past Croffy, it's game over. Definitely game over. Crossy's way too far behind. Oh, he makes the move, Plebs. He's made the move down the inside. He's made it stick. And he may have just made it stick for the Constructors title. Constructors title is going to Mercedes at the moment. I'll just redo my math. So we've got 7. There's 3 difference. Yeah. He's got it well and truly now. Mercedes are going to win it by 5 as it stands. As it stands, Mercedes is going to win the Constructors' Championship by 5 points. Crossy just doesn't have the pace. Those medium tyres are so much older than Plebs' tyres is telling at the moment. Really good recovery drive from Plebs here. Remember, he pitted at lap 3, smashed wing, had to replace it. He's done really well to fight back. It's never over till it's over. And because of that fighting attitude, Mercedes are going to win the Constructors title as it stands. Ginger's still catching these two. So the lead of the race might not be over here. He's gotten past Aaron while we were doing all of that Constructors math. And he's catching 40 and Zach. And if they keep fighting and battling, he'll catch quite rapidly. 3 laps left. Could he put in a final little bit of spice into this dish? Zach will want the win though. He'll be definitely going for the win. He won't just settle for the Constructors and finishing second here. He'll want a little bit of revenge, even if it's just the last race. Still to end on a high. He'll want to win this race, that's for sure. So if Plebs can keep it on the track and Zach can keep it on the track, Mercedes win the Constructors title. It's 0.6 seconds. He needs to pull that gap in before they get to the hairpin, so he can make a move down the straights, the double straights. We'll go to this view with 40 because we can see Zach in the background. Ginger, he's brought in a second. He's way faster than these two. These two must be managing their tyres to go to the end. They must be on their last legs, and Ginger with the double stop strategy could get them here. Half a second. He could get the win here with the double stop. They've done so much battling and so much fighting that they've brought the double stopper into calculation here in Ginger. And he could win this race and be given the strategy award. That's for sure. It's just gapping out a little bit now. It's because of where they are on the track. We get some odd deltas. You see it drop a little bit down then. And Plez has put out a gap on Spilly. He might even be able to get to Miku. Probably not. No, he wouldn't be able to get to Miku. That is a step too far. There's yellow flag. And it's jumper line, and he's lost it again around. Just pushing a bit too hard. Probably trying to get past the slap there on those softs. Ginger 3-second time penalty. That could be crucial. Could be very crucial at the end of this race. Oh, that's a brutal 3-second time penalty. We know 40's got one. He got one in the first lap. I haven't seen any more flash up. So that could come into calculation as well. If Ginger passes Zach and 40 holds on to the lead, that's only 3 points. It's only an extra 3 points. I think Mercedes still hold on to it by a point. And jump a line and disqualified. Parked in a dangerous location. Interesting. And there is Ginger right behind him. He's still got a lap and a half left. And he goes down the inside. He's rapid, Ginger. Way faster than these two. And the double stop strategy is going to get him the win here. The strategist. Season 1, it was John Palainen. Season 2, I'm going to give it to Chapalele, who had some amazing strategy calls that got him some just outright wins. Don't worry, he had the pace as well. But like that Canada one comes to mind. Germany was a great win as well. So Ginger, he should get past 40. And what's happened to Zach Crichton? Has Zach got a puncture? They may have just thrown away the Constructors' Championship here. He has. He's spun around. He has a puncture. He's stuck with a puncture. The championship gone. Williams going to win the double. Unless 40 gets a puncture. 40 must be on his last legs as well. If he nurses it home, they're going to win the Constructors' Championship. But he must also be very close to a puncture. Zach Crichton's into the pits. Is he? Not quite yet. Doesn't matter now though. It's too late. He's in all sorts. Is 40 going to get a puncture here? He's still holding on. He just has to nurse it home. He has to know that he just has to nurse it home. And Williams will take home the Constructors' Championship. He's going to dive. He doesn't care. He's going for the win. He's going for the dive on Ginger. His tyres must be okay. He must have managed them all right. If he's doing moves like that, he's not nursing him, that's for sure. He's still going full throttle. Doesn't make a move there. We're on the last lap here, though. Ginger's going to take the win. Unless Zach does some sort of Ricardo stamp-licking exercise. But I don't think so. I think Ginger's going to take the win, and a good win as well. Solid. Well done on the strategy. Pitted at the right times. Nice and early. Got some serious undercut time going on. And a very nice win to the Alfa Romeo of Ginger. 40's going to hang on. And Williams going to win the title because Zach Crichton got a puncture. His last 2 races have been an absolute disaster for Mercedes. Fireworks in last race of the Elite Series. Ginger takes the win. 40 takes the win from penalties. No, Ginger. He won it on track, but penalties. 40 takes the last race, our championship. And Williams could and probably will. I'll do some math. Well, because of that, he's got 25 points. Oh, I'll have to do some math here. Let me calculate. I've got a 15-point lead. Then Plebs is going to finish 4th and bring 12 back. They have a 3-point lead. Crossy finishes 8th. And yeah, they're going to win. Williams have won the title. 29. Yep, just about 5 or 6 points. Congratulations to Williams. They got the double, the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship. Zach Crichton's on the wet tyres. That's all he had left. Great final race. I did not see that coming. I forgot all about the punctures or the damage that could be done from staying on these mediums and racing so hard all the way. But a great end to a great season. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed commentating it. It's been fantastic. There's been wheel-to-wheel action all the way through. A great series, a deserved championship, and well done Williams on the Constructors today as well. We'll see them on the podium before we finish up. Make sure you join us next season, Season 3, in the new game, F1 2020. New liveries, new drivers. One new driver in Latifi in the Williams. And another win to 40 puts that Williams on. Just too many time penalties there for Ginger. Drove an outstanding race, managed to win it on track. Not quite win it on the timing board though. Aaron solid in 3rd. Just had a really solid race. We didn't see much of him because there was the crazy battles going on at the front between Ginger Rhythms Zach Crichton and 40. And we'll bring up our final standings, and then we'll sign off for Season 2. 9 seconds penalties, as we can see, 6 seconds to 40. Aaron Plev's done really well. That's a great fight back from where he had the pit for that smashed wing on lap 3. Zach only had 3 seconds worth of penalties. He would have won that race. They would have taken home the Constructors title. Not to be though. We will see you next season. I hope you enjoyed this season. As I said, I certainly did. And make sure you tune in when we do it all again on F1 2020.